Hi, my name is Rena, and this is my very first YouTube video. I'm posting this on YouTube so that anybody can watch it, but really I do hope that Governor Palin of the great state of Alaska has an opportunity to view this. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I watched the governor's speech on Tuesday night at the Republican National Convention, and one thing in particular both struck me and disturbed me, and that was the governor's references to community organizers. And I wondered if the governor really understands what the role of community organizers is today, as well as throughout history, and not only that, the important role that community organization has played in her life and in her current run with Senator John McCain for Vice President of the United States. So I was reading this post, and it really was not directed specifically at the governor. It was about the history of community organization. And it pointed out a couple of really instructive things. For one, Susan B. Anthony was a community organizer who looked out across a community of women and saw the injustice in the fact that women were not afforded full rights to vote. And so Susan B. Anthony and other women, equally strong women, organized that community and fought and worked over years and years and years until she secured the right to vote for women. Another thing that this post pointed out was that Martin Luther King Jr. was a community organizer, and he looked out across the community of Americans and of African Americans, and he saw the injustice of how people were being treated, and he stood for the community in that certain rights were not dependent upon your skin color, upon your socioeconomic status, upon your gender, that they were simple, basic human rights. And he mobilized a community of people to ensure that we were afforded basic civil rights just by the fact of our existence. The last one that really struck me, and there was a lot in the post that I read that I'm not going to go into, but the last one that really struck me was the obvious one, and that's that Jesus was a community organizer who looked out across the community of mankind, which all of us are a member of, and reached out to the poor and to the hungry and to people who were low in spirit and helped organize them to lift themselves up, to aspire to something better and greater than themselves. If anything, he is probably the best, longest-standing example that I've heard of a successful community organizer who had a pivotal role in our history. So I will say also that community organizers exist in every community every day. They're out there working right now. As I'm having my lunch, on my lunch break at work, they're out there working right now. They wake up in the morning, and they look at their block and they see that the housing is ramshackle, and so they organize that community to have a political voice and to make them more visible to politicians so that they can secure something as basic as a safe roof over their heads. Community organizers every day look across the communities of the elderly and see them making decisions about whether they will buy prescription drugs or eat or heat their homes. And so they organize on behalf of those people so that they can live a life of some measure of dignity and not have to make choices between basic necessities. Community organizers work with people who are having problems feeding their children. They work every day for very little money, and they get up and selflessly give their time to go out and help secure just a little bit of happiness and security for other people within their community. A very noble and dignified calling. So I would like the governor to understand that she wouldn't be where she was in a position to run for this office, let alone vote, were it not for the power of community organizers and community organization. And I would like to suggest that if she brings this up in future addresses or in answers to questions or on the campaign trail, that she might want to remove the sneer from her voice when she refers to it. Thanks so much for listening. Y'all have a great Friday.